morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, and welcome to another episode of Tea and Coffee with Paula and
Jay. Good morning, everybody. Nice to hear or not see or hear. I'm just lying right now. I'm in the studio. I can't see or hear you all. I can see your chats. All right, I can see your chats. So good morning, everybody. I hope you're all good. And how are you?
I'm all right. All good. In the hood.
I was saying she's going to be the first non-white Canadian anti-hate network person because they do little things on all of us.
Mm-hmm.
You might get yours soon.
Yeah,
You might get yours soon. We'll
Here's
see.
hoping. Here's hoping.
Keep it up. And then you get one. So yeah, there we are. We're live. We got everything done.
We're going live. Yes, again,
It's the water.
One of those mornings, people. One of those mornings. Hello.
She is like this often. All right, let's go ahead and show everybody what we we're up to yesterday. Ready?
Dun dun dun.
We got our signs.
Yeah, got our lawn signs.
You're going to be seeing these all over. Well, if you're in
live.
the Brazeau County area,
Yeah,
especially Division 6 and Ward 2, you'll be seeing these all over the place.
Yeah.
We put a lot of effort into them. Got them yesterday, and I even have a big 4 foot by 4 foot one. A couple of them I'm going to put up. So
yeah, put your mug up.
Way larger than my regular head. That's scary to look at.
Really?
I'm not a fan of me. I don't like that. I'm just not. I've never been. I'm just vicariously through your eyes is how I see me.
There you go. Long may that continue.
It works. If you like me, then I've done something right.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're okay. But yeah, we got our lawn signs and we'll be putting them up. It is campaign season, obviously, right now for us before the big vote in Alberta for October 20th. Monday, October 20th.
And I'm excited. Things are going good.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight is the Meet Your Candidates meeting.
Yep.
In Buck Creek at 7 p.m. So you can meet your Division 6 candidates, which would be Sarah, Dallas, and myself, and the 2 Reeve candidates, which would be Bart and Carol. No, Pat Falk.
Yeah.
So you can come meet all 5 of us, see what we're up to, and yeah, let's see if it gets spicy.
Yeah, and as being wife of a Division 2 candidate who's also running school board trustee, you get to meet me too. I'll be there.
And you might meet wife of a candidate for Division 6 counselor.
Yeah, Polly's there too, for sure.
Yeah. So you might be able to meet even your 2 Ward 2 candidates as well. Mm-hmm. They'll be there. I don't know if you were you not invited? Because you really should have been.
No, from the emails that we get from Wild Rose, I'm yet to receive anything say that we're invited to that. I don't know if they're going to be doing something themselves. Not sure. But at the end, they just, even this as a wife of, whether I was running or not, I would be there to support you.
Yeah, it came from Buck Creek Community Association. So it came from them directly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, maybe they should have had you guys there. Maybe we'll have to ruffle some feathers. We'll see. But you'll be there.
It's a twofer because then they'll get you and they'll get me too. So, and I think Buck Creek is in Ward 2, so they'll get to me too. They're included on the little map for Ward 2.
Yep, because their kids go to Breton.
Yeah, so there's a lot of schools, communities that the kids go to Breton Elementary or high school. When high school's in Breton. So yeah, I'll be checking that, putting my lawn signs out there too.
You may want to address this because I can see it from here. I did nothing to my wife.
We just discovered as we're sitting down getting stuff and I'm like, what's this? And I was like, first of all, I thought it was a shadow. They're like, no, it's a little red mark.
A little pimple or something.
From the way I slept or whatever, but yeah, no, it's not from this guy.
And we don't have stairs for her to fall down or anything like that.
We don't even have, actually, we've got like 2 doors. We've got the shelter door, the trailer door, bathroom door.
What does the door mean? Like, I don't get the
reference.
You walk
into a door.
Oh, no.
fall down the stairs when you're really battered, but normally the facial one is like when you walked into a door.
No, we don't have. No, we have a couple doors maybe in the car, and we have 1 or 2 steps on the trailer. And that's it. That's like all the stairs around here.
Yeah,
I got a couple on the studio.
Yeah, we need to, because come winter time when we're slogging and I got to take the big step to get in. Yeah, steps would be good.
She's getting old, but we can get one of those brooms. We saw that yesterday. You put the broom on the ground and you can step over it. Only ladies can do that.
Try that and record it.
I'm afraid of succeeding. What does that mean?
What does that mean?
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. We're in a giddy mood right now, but today is one of those days. It's going to be a difficult one for a lot of people because today is the Chris Barber Marley sentencing.
That's right.
So we'll be getting that result today, whatever it is. we're going to be, well, Nico and I are putting together some coverage, so we'll get into that a little bit later. But after this show, I'll be jumping on that show, and we'll be looking for the sentence results. I am accredited media in the Ontario courts, so I've requested a copy of the Zoom link to watch, but I will not be able to restream it. We all know this. I'm allowed to watch it and react to it, but even Nico can't see it because you have to register. You got to go into Zoom, put your email in, all that stuff. And I take this stuff seriously because I want to make sure I maintain a good relationship, because we got Dan Hartman, we got Detective Helen Cruz, who I spoke with yesterday. I actually spoke with both of those two people yesterday. And that stuff's going to be coming up in the courts. So definitely going to maintain that accredited, approved journalist credentials with the Ontario courts. I can't get that in Alberta courts yet, but Ontario I can.
Yes, that's always just add the yet, but it's frustrating. But yes, I'm glad that you have the ability to then watch and then subsequently share a reaction. Doing it live. And I know lots of people on their way there to view. I know Right Blend is going to be heading there too as well.
I don't think so. I think because he's got the Zoom link, so he might be setting up his studio to do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
I talked to him last night. Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, he wasn't clear with me. Like, he's got the link and all that kind of stuff. I was chatting with him last night, and then I asked, but I think he went to bed. Like, are you going there live, or are you going to be doing it from your studio? So we'll see.
Yeah.
But either way, he got the link as well, because he's also accredited the same way I am. All right, so now let's get there. How are we doing on time? We're doing good. Yeah, so to talk to Helen Cruz yesterday. She's doing good. She's keeping her fight going. She's a wonderful woman. When my phone beeps and it goes Helen Cruz, no matter what I'm doing, you know this.
Yeah.
Let's take that call.
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm excited about today, because as we're making our way through the day, we're going to go put up some signs, get ready for that meet and greet tonight. And we'll see where it goes, because I'm looking forward to connecting with more of my neighbors. One reached out, wants to have a conversation.
Nice.
So we'll do that. And here we go. Election time.
Dun, dun,
It's your first one. It's also your first sign.
It is.
You're wearing the same shirt.
I am. Tweeting.
That was up on purpose. I'm not. Maybe I am. No,
you're not.
Yeah, it's close. It's close. I only have.
No, this was just clean. So I put it on.
And you may be wearing the same bottom in both of them too. We don't know.
No, that one was jeans.
Oh,
this is my comfortable. Did not put my jeans on. Just track pants.
You're comfortable. I walked into a door pants.
That's not funny. We don't joke about stuff like that. But no, no.
So yeah, what does your sign say?
Well, children, everyone. It says putting students first, because that is something I do want to do. And I will be a trustee that listens to the parents, students, and the teachers too. I would be proud to represent everyone that is related to the schools.
And as the husband of, she does listen. She does take in feedback. Does make wise decisions, especially when she is talking to people.
Soundbite right there, people. I do make wise decisions.
She does. She does.
That's true.
There's one right here. I'll just take that one. And then mine, this one says, where did your money go? And maybe you can scoot over and grab the other one. Where did your money go for accountability? Because auditing and seeing what we've done in the past and going forward and stuff is part of my campaign. The other one, I got 2. 8 years, no change. Vote to elect Jason Levine for real change. 8 years, no change is because of my 2 opponents.
Yeah,
no. Yeah, they are the previous incumbents. So the current incumbent and the one previous to that. So over the last 8 years, these are the people that were already our counselors. And if you want some change, that's what I'm offering. Very cool. They turned out all right. Okay. Although this one has vote to elect on it, this one has elect. I just know something. All good. So hope you guys are enjoying your tea and coffee this morning, because clearly something's in our water. And we're getting ready for this very important day.
Yeah.
Covering Barbara Leach and covering Barbara and Leach and getting ready for our science. Fun stuff. What do the chat say? Get on with the news.
No, good. No, praying for Tamara and Chris. I can see that the ostrich, like lots of stuff going on. And yes, good morning to our locals chat as well. Thanks for being here. And then not too chilly outside. No, it was decent overnight.
Mhm.
Like yesterday was freezing, today +5, so not too bad.
Yeah, we got accustomed to it very quick. I think it was Sunday morning was a really cold one. It was the really
Yeah,
cold one.
really
So
chilly.
we kind of just got a taste of what's coming, and that's just a reminder for us all to get ready,
Yeah,
which we're
the
doing.
minus temperatures are coming up for us this weekend.
Yep, and we have
Oh,
no.
and yeah, before I forget, happy early Thanksgiving, because I know I'm probably going to forget as the week goes on. But yes, Thanksgiving long weekend this weekend.
Yeah, we didn't book anything off except the weekend, but Jacob's birthday's coming up too.
Jacob's birthday he is our Thanksgiving baby, but yeah,
Mhm.
his birthday's on Friday, and we get to celebrate the long weekend with him.
He's been reminding us for weeks.
Yes, he has, and he got his new bike.
He did.
He got his new bike
He
already.
was riding it yesterday. All right, so let's go ahead and get into some of this news.
Oh yeah, he's at the courthouse, so right, Blend, I'm assuming.
Okay.
Blender's meeting.
Yep. Well, he's also got the link, so don't know if he's going to use it or not, but I know he's got the link. All right. So yesterday we were to have Dan Hartman. He sent a message shortly after apologizing. He hit snooze and he snoozed. So we're going to reschedule something with him later in the day after he's seen the film, but before the film is released. We'll have him come on and kind of talk about it and get you all out there, Edmonton, Red Deer, and Calgary. Come hang out with us.
Yep.
So Dan sent his apologies. He's a hard worker. This guy works hard, and mornings is difficult for a lot of people. Not a lot of people are not a morning person. He's definitely great in the afternoon, evenings. We'll book him for them. I also finished a couple more interviews for this film yesterday.
Yep.
So 2 more special guests will be joining. We'll save that for the premiere, and 3 more will be recorded, and then I should be all wrapped up with getting the content and finish putting it together. We'll be super busy on that the next few days for sure. Thank you, Daisy, for the update at the Ostrich Farm, Universal Ostrich Farm. The veterinarian for them has arrived and was able to go and take a look at an injured bird to see what's going on in there and hopefully gather some more information, because the information coming out of CFIA is slow and it's not very full and complete. So this was the moment where the RCMP liaison and I believe an officer escorted the veterinarian to go and take a look at some of the birds. So thank you, Daisy, for being there and doing this coverage. Quite a few news organizations and independent journalists now starting to cover it, so that's good. And looking forward to some more positive updates. Let's hope these birds are okay. There's a lot of concern around whether or not they're getting the right feed and care. We already had one lost, so hopefully this brings a little bit of solace to Katie and Karen and David and everybody there. As you can see, the crowd's kind of growing. More and more people are starting to show up. And of course, there's zero danger for anybody that's there. The RCMP overreacting the other day, as we heard from Katie. Crazy people online saying crazy things. I really don't think it's people. I think it's agitators, or even we saw this during the convoy, where the government possibly flew a flag or had some involvement in the flying of a flag, because then they use that for the whole thing. It never happened from the actual people there. So we've seen things like that. This is suspected over the years, and we could be seeing false posts online just to give them an excuse to have a lot of force and stuff. Anyways, as this unfolds, it is peaceful. This is a peaceful group. They've always been that way. But boy, do they have their cameras out. So thank goodness that they're bearing witness on this one.
Sure, exactly, yes.
The Wiretap, if you haven't followed him, do so. And by the way, follow Chris Stacey too. Make sure you go give him a follow. He's there. He's got some equipment, and he's going to be covering that all the way to the end.
Yeah, Daisy Media.
Yep. So Wiretap Media CA on X, follow him. We've had him on the show before. He's a good guy. And he's reporting while the Canadian Anti-Hate Network claims far-right acceleration groups are gathering to overthrow the government, an Antifa whistleblower has confirmed Antifa is a communist acceleration movement looking to overthrow the government. Shocker. I don't actually fully believe this Antifa whistleblower. It's only when Trump is in that this is true. So when Biden was in, this wasn't true. This was more of a protection arm of the current government. So Antifa isn't about fully throwing over governments.
Correct.
Because they're only for right-leaning Republican conservative governments do they do that. I believe that's true. So this whistleblower, as he's speaking on Fox, he's basically letting the cat out of the bag. But it's only going to be when Republicans are in power, because we don't see them doing that here.
No.
They don't protest against the liberals. They're not going after Carney for taking away rights, guns,
No.
speech. So it's only one side. So they are a left-leaning communist socialist group, and they only go after non-communist socialist groups, which means
Which also,
Carney is
Dun,
a
dun,
communist
dun.
socialist group.
Yes.
So that's something to pay attention to. So thank you to Wiretap. I did a post, and it says, they always accuse you of being what they are. It's called projection. But here's your lesson of the day. Projection from psychology. In Freudian psychology, projection is when someone attributes their own thoughts, feelings, or behavior to someone else. It's because they can think that way. And then they think other people think that way. And if they think other people can think that way, then they accuse them of that. Whether they're doing it intentionally to project or that's just how they're wired, it's still called projection. So by saying things like, oh, yeah, you guys are trying to overthrow the government. Well, that's how you think. And so you're telling us that we're doing that, but we're not. We're not trying to overthrow the government. We've always been election-based. We've always been protest-based, but never coups or overthrow. Because we understand fully that isn't the way to get done. And that's a surefire way to get yourself into bad situations. So we take the long and slow and steady race approach, kind of like the tortoise versus the hare, to try and get things done. We'll see how that works out. I got invited through the council to go speak at a meeting coming up tomorrow. On October 8th, tomorrow, I'll be speaking at the Agricultural Service Board meeting about the BC ostrich farm crisis. So, yeah, council reached out to me and asked me to be a guest for that. And farmers deserve answers. The CFIA's heavy-handed approach doesn't just affect one farm in BC. It sets a dangerous precedence for agriculture across Canada.
Correct.
Brazeau County is standing up to ask the tough questions, which I'm very pleased about.
Yeah, actually, I was actually quite pleased that our community is having this discussion, and also the fact they invited you. I thought that was great.
Yeah, because the farmers around here are kind of concerned, like, am I next? What are they doing? I've seen reports where 5 chickens could be tested positive, and it will kill 50,000. Call 50,000. Call potato. That's a concern. And also, what's a concern is what the BC ostrich situation exposed was how the CFIA has ultimate power. Like, there's really no way to stop them, and they got ultimate discretion. Like, there's, as we're seeing, it's gone through the federal court, federal appeals, now it's going to the Supreme Court. They have ultimate power, and what they say goes.
Because I said so.
Yeah, and that's a concern, because if you can't bring in counter evidence, counter science, counter situation and address it, well, then what's the point? Like,
and current testing, because I saw there was a little conversation on X, and they're saying, oh, but the birds are infected. And I think you commented, well, they were tested was December 2024. We're now October 2025. Do another test.
Yeah, and from what I understand, they still haven't tested Spirit, the one that just passed away. So I think they know these birds are no longer infected, because the first thing, if I was on the CFIA side, I'm going to project on them a bit. If I was on their side and this was the narrative I was running with, that bird would have been tested. And then the results would have been put out if they were positive.
Even if you test it on the sly, get it tested, because as soon as you get that positive result, hey, look what we got.
Right, but I don't think they think they'll ever get a positive result. I think they fully know that these birds are not sick. So that's why we're not seeing that. Also, we didn't see them test any of them when they took custody.
Yeah, and I think they're going to realize we no longer believe the whole died in a car accident, you died of COVID. Right. That type of mentality.
Yep, that's a good way to put it. And then also Brett Wilson offered $100,000 to go ahead and do testing. So there's no taxpayer any issue here. Let's go ahead and just get this done, but they still won't.
And my understanding is, like, it's a fairly economical test. It's like $20 for the test, something like that. Because that's what I've been seeing. But
I would suspect it's higher, because I think he's done the math.
Yeah, he's provided funds so that there's exactly no cost to the taxpayer. CFI say, oh, we don't have it in our budget to do it. No, here's some money.
They're spending $50,000 a day right now just to be there. They should at least justify it. So that's what we'll be talking about here at the Agricultural Service Board meeting, about basically the heavy-handed approach that's being done here. we won't listen and look at the science approach.
Mhm.
And the concern is all over Canada. What will this mean? Will they come after the crops in the future? Will they expand to that because it's Canadian Food Inspection Agency? Is this a prelude to what they were trying to do with Bills 293, which was to take over our food supply
Yeah.
in a declared pandemic? So the pandemic preparedness bill. Is this a prelude to that? Are they testing farmers and the public to see how far they can go with this?
Yeah.
Maybe. So there's some concerns being raised out here in Alberta, and I'll be speaking to this tomorrow. I believe it'll be 10 o'clock in Drayton Valley at the Brazeau County building.
Township office. Okay,
Township
great.
office, yeah. So go join us there if you're around. And I do know that people that live around here watch the show. They reached out yesterday.
Mhm.
So, and if you're watching right now, I'm going to give you a call as soon as I can. We'll be doing the Barbara Leach coverage, and
Yeah.
I'll call you as soon as I can. Corey Morgan reminding everybody,
Mhm.
because Danielle Smith back in March 20. So now the deadline has reached 6 months. So March would
Mhm.
be the third month.
Mm.
And for
It was
March,
meant to be
yeah.
done end
So
of
9.
September.
Yep.
Yeah.
So 6 months have come and gone. She did say she's extending it to the end of the year. And then she gave a second one, which was whether or not he'll put the pipeline west onto the major projects. He's got till November sometime to do that one. But
Yeah.
Corey's kind of keeping the fire going, reminding everybody that none of these demands were met and 6 months have passed. No more lines in the sand. It's time for some action.
Mhm.
I think what we're seeing here is still good if you are in the camp of seeing independence for Alberta. And by the way, another deadline that's coming up is the Forever Canada petition deadline is coming
Right.
up too. And what I understand is he's 2/3 of the way there, and that's assuming that those are all unique
Yeah.
signatures and good ones.
Yeah, we saw that headline the day.
Yeah, so I think he's gonna miss that requirement, but we'll see what happens. But what is good about this is the conversation's alive. Danielle does seem to be putting in some conditions and trying to be firm with it, which is a good thing. And then if Carney misses them, which he will, there's even more justification for independence.
Mhm.
And I will be speaking to Premier
Like in
Danielle
just a
Smith
week.
1 week today. So I'll try and get some more of these questions in my mind answered about where she, I know where she wants things to go, like
Mhm.
where she's hopeful, but I want to see if I can talk to her pragmatic side and see if she, have you seen some of the light here? Have you read his book yet? Have you listened to Albertans during the panel? Half of the conversations
Yeah.
there was like, we don't need the panel. Let's just move on. Let's see where she's at. So we got 1 week to get ready for that interview. It's still on as far as I know, and it will be a remote interview. So I'll be interviewing her in our studio, but she
Yep.
won't be here. And I see our wonderful guest, and we'll be ready in about 7-8 minutes for you. So I will finish getting through the news here. So a message from Chris Barber and Tamara Leach from yesterday. They're in Ottawa. They're going to be there this morning, pretty soon, really. And we're going to get the results for the sentencing. So some people have been saying it's verdict day, that kind of stuff. No, the verdict happened already, guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is now the sentencing day. The sentencing arguments have happened already.
Mhm.
The Crown's looking, I think, for 7 or 8 years for both of
Crazy.
them.
Crazy.
Take his truck, seize his truck, and we're going to see where they're going to go. So today is going to be the decision from the court on what their sentence will be. I don't really want to speculate, but given what others have received already, like Pat
Mhm.
King, there will be some jail time. Now, Tamara has some credit because she has been,
She
put
got
in
some time
detention.
served.
Yeah, time served. But Chris hasn't. So we'll see. We'll see. The court has some guidance that they have to follow.
Mhm.
One thing that will happen, I'm sure, is there will be a sentencing appeal filed right away.
Right.
So if there is sentencing where they have to go in, it's going to be for a couple days as the appeal is filed and then put on the books to be heard. And then they'll be released on bail pending appeal.
If they get bail, which we anticipate.
No, they would. They would
Yeah.
for this. Yeah, they
Yeah,
would for this.
exactly.
Yeah, I would be shocked if they couldn't get bail in this situation because this is pretty standard.
Yeah.
Right. So, and this is not a dangerous, murder or conspiracy charge or anything like that. This is
Big bad
mischief.
Chris and Tamara. Yeah.
Right. So if that's what happens today, they leave the courtroom in cuffs. We will mourn, but they will be out a couple days after as the paperwork is filed. So possibly even by Friday, they'll be returning home if that is the result. But tune in after this episode as we're going to be covering it. And if you give me a second, I'll see if the court has responded to me yet. Not yet. Okay. I am expecting to be able to get the link because I am on their list. All right. As we move on, because we've got our guest here and we got a couple more minutes. So Jack, he's been on our show.
Yep.
He's a good man. He's kind of highlighting here. Well, they're on strike. Teachers in Alberta are on strike. And here's a picture of them on strike. They showed up probably at 9 o'clock. The bell rang, and there they are. And he says there's never been a better advertisement for homeschooling Alberta's children. We've been doing it since 2020.
Yep.
Best decision ever. We homeschool our boys. We love it. We get to spend a lot of time with them. Their education's going great. Every time they get their little checkup on how they're doing, it's fantastic. And yeah, they are. If you ever meet them, you'll say these are
nice young men.
Nice young men. Especially Jake when he wears his little white T-shirt.
My goodness.
It's the cutest thing. Like he wears a white undershirt.
Yeah.
He looks like a little man.
Yeah, because one thing with people with Down syndrome, they're typically shorter than average. And so from a distance, like you'll all think Jacob is just a little boy, a young boy. He's maybe younger than his years. But when you see him dressed in something that's not baggy but's fitted, you just see, he's a little man.
It's the cutest thing.
Yeah, and he loves it too.
Yeah,
he knows he's looking good. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he can wear that anytime. He's a cute little guy. I love that guy. JJ, you're awesome too. You listen to the show. Love you, man. He came and hung out with me as I went to get the signs.
Yep.
Good little co-pilot.
Yeah, you had JJ, I had Jacob yesterday.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep. Liz Churchill, a friend of the show, reminding everybody that Canada is going after maids for children and teens. They call them mature minors. They're giving them the decision to do things like transition, to go ahead and take medical procedures like vaccines or shots or therapies, whatever you want to call it today, and end of life. So this is something that they're headed towards as well.
Yeah.
And it was it was Saturday where Katie mentioned, I asked, what is the calling of the ostriches kind of things to come? You think they're going to head in this direction with Canadians, not necessarily call them, but control them? And she's like, well, actually, we got maids. So they
Very
do
correct.
call Canadians. And she was right. Absolutely. Year over year, about 30% more year over year. And now they're looking at adding children, made for children and teens. So they're even highlighting that young, they're saying children.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Teens. So that's just disturbing. Thanks, Liz, for that. And we're about ready for Mary. Here's Mary's post. So go check out this movie, Unpacking the Lies We've Been Fed. It's, again, I'm glad that this is starting to come out. A lot more people are kind of getting the ability to speak out. And Mary's been one of the best ones. So Dr. Mary Bowden. And she's right there. I can see her getting herself ready to join us in a couple minutes. So go check out this post. I reposted it so you guys can get to it. And absolutely. Truth is breaking through. The dam is open. And it's nice to see that we can have these conversations more and more. And Mary was right. He was right all along. You know that the truth teller, when you can listen to them and they haven't changed their position, they're not pivoting at all. They're not flowing with the wind. She's been highlighting a lot of things for the public to pay attention to for a long time, taking the hits, and she's with us today. Very pleased. Right after this episode, 10:15 a.m. Eastern, 8:15 a.m. Mountain, Nico and I are going to start the coverage. I should have the Zoom link, but I can't share it. But I will be able to hopefully talk about what's happening and share it live with you. And there we go. And I am still putting on the event, and we're still running. So if you haven't got your tickets for the Untold Story of Sean Hartman, please do. You can go to thelevineshow.com to grab those. And it'll be great to see you all there.
Yep. And like I said, Dr. Speaker, Dr. Shoemaker, Dr. Roger Hodkinson, and Dean Rainey, the filmmaker, for We Can't Talk About This. Or Why Can't We Talk About This?
Right. We'll be there in person.
Yep.
Dan Hartman will be there remotely. And we may have another special guest or two in each location to help us MC or speak. But right now, these are the people we're expecting to see there, and I hope you can join us. Well, here we go. We're right at the 30-minute mark, and we got Dr. Mary Ellie Bowden. How are you doing this morning?
I am great. It's great to be here. How are y'all
today?
We're good. We're good. It's a tough day up here in Canada because today is the sentencing for
Mhm.
Chris Barber and Tamara Leach. 2.5 years in the making, almost 3 years. Well,
Oh,
3 years. And now we're going to find out what is Canada going to do to people that protest and stand up against them. And it could be a very sad day here in Canada. Have you been following the trial or the results of what's happened up here in Canada?
no, I have not. I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, so in 2022, we had, I'm sure you heard about the convoy, the trucker convoy that went to Ottawa to protest the government. The end result of that was no violence, but a lot of court cases and arrests and people put into jail. And we're making our way through all of the various people that's happened to. And
Uh,
Chris Barber and Tamara Leach have been brought forward as some of the main organizers or leaders from it. So what happens to them, people are paying close attention to. They were found guilty of mischief, and now they're facing the sentencing results today, which could be up to 8 years in prison for their involvement in trying to save Canada and Canadians.
wow.
So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah, we're going to find out about that. So that's some of the truth up here in Canada. We're trying to get out. But in addition to the work that you're doing, we can't oppose our government up here at all. You guys had Jan 6 and you saw what happened to those people. This was kind of similar. It wasn't that we stormed anything. Nobody went into any building. They just stood outside with bouncy castles, hot tubs, and a
Mhm.
lot of Canadian flags. But yet they still cracked down on Canadians as if they did do something like we saw on Jan 6. But let's go ahead and jump into that movie you posted. You definitely has told everybody to pay attention to what's going on. The truth is coming out. So, are you surprised that the truth is now able to come out and stay on platforms like YouTube? Because we've noticed a bit of a change in that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on YouTube but barely. I mean, my post, I think I got like 28 views, something I posted a few days ago. So they let me on, but it's I feel like it's still being suppressed. And I tried to get on TikTok. I tried during the pandemic, of course, was removed quite swiftly. So I tried again recently, and after a few weeks, I was booted off again for spreading misinformation and violating community guidelines. So yeah, there's improvement, but we still have a lot of work to do. I mean, even on X, you can get your post can get attacked by bots. The enemy will mass report you so that your posts, just freeze. All of a sudden, you're starting to get traction. All of a sudden, just freezes, so you don't get any more views or impressions. So it's definitely we're still at war trying to get the word out.
I like the way you put that. We're at war. Every day's a
Yeah.
battle. We're going to win this war. I'm telling you, because I definitely think we're starting to break through. There's more and more people paying attention. Canada is way behind the U.S. At least you guys have Trump and the administration making some inroads there. Do you want to kind of chat a bit about what you thought the Trump administration would do, and then how are they doing? Like, what's your report card on them?
Yeah, I'm highly frustrated, and to me, I continue to see injured patients on a daily basis. So it's in my face constantly. And it's just shocking to me that these COVID shots are still on the market. It feels like the current administration is just sweeping the pandemic under the rug. I don't know that we'll get any accountability. I mean, they had Albert Bourhall in the Oval Office last week, and he was praising him for how he did with COVID. And some people still claim that this is just 4D chess, but I don't know. Trump is pretty candid. He seems to be pretty forthright and says what he thinks. So I'm having a hard time believing that this is all some big scheme. And it's worrisome because the mRNA platform is not going away. They're going to double down on it. The last time I checked, there were hundreds of products in the pipeline that are based on the mRNA platform. And this is, I continue to see these people every day that have lives destroyed. And we all know people. It's not just me. I mean, we all know people who have been either injured or killed from these shots. And right now we're battling a cold. I mean, I don't worry about my COVID patients. I used to, early on, I used to worry about, will they end up in the hospital? I do not worry about COVID patients ending up in the hospital anymore. I worry more about a flu patient ending up in the hospital than a COVID patient. So I'm super frustrated. I feel like this is, they're throwing us breadcrumbs. This is basically politics over safety, and any other product would have been pulled off the market a long time ago. I mean, I've seen antibiotics, in my career that were removed from far fewer issues than what we've seen with the COVID shot. Yeah, I mean, I guess we're fortunate that I don't know if y'all are even discussing do you have the COVID shot on your vaccine schedule? And
Children?
is anybody even talking about it?
Yes, we do. Even in
Yeah.
Alberta, 6 months up,
Mhm.
6 months old and up is still on the list. It's recommended, not mandatory. You don't have to take it, but many are. In Alberta, if you want to take it, you have to pay $100 for it. So Alberta doesn't cover the cost of it. And that wasn't how it worked either before. The federal government used to cover the cost of it. Now they stopped covering the cost of it. And last time I looked at the numbers, which was a while ago, 18% of Canadians would get it. So the numbers are going down on people who get it. But yeah, it's still here. It's still on the recommended list for children 6 months and up.
Well, so from what I understand with the US, if it's not on the recommended list, then the insurance companies are not required to pay for it, and the government's not required to pay for it. So it's out of pocket. But it sounds like even though it's recommended, that's an interesting difference, because I would think Canada, especially given your healthcare system, that no matter what, it would be paid for. And that still 18% are willing to pay $100 for that shot is insane.
Yeah, in Canada, well, we're broke. Okay, we're actually going off a financial cliff that came out. We knew this all along, but we're sending a lot of money to Ukraine and other places, and not here in Canada. But we're broke, and it's one of the ways they're doing it. Our postal system, we can't afford to keep it going either. So they're on strike right now. We may lose a good chunk of our postal service because we just can't afford it anymore as a country. But we're broke. So this is where they started to cut back. They dumped it onto the provinces. Other provinces started to pick it up. Alberta was one of the ones that chose not to. One of the things Alberta did do was they commissioned a report to the COVID response. It was Dr. Gary Davidson who did that report. And his report said, don't give it to children and pregnant women. You need to stop doing that. But the government didn't make that pivot. So we are finding the science and proven that we should stop doing this, but we're not yet. And it's one of the things that's very upsetting to a lot of Albertans, especially the ones who voted for our current premier, because we were expecting these kind of changes to happen, but they're very slow. Like, we're not making that change.
Yes, I share your frustration. I mean, and Kennedy, I was really expecting a lot more out of, and people are critical of me for criticizing him, but I don't know who else we criticize. I mean, obviously, Trump, we knew how Trump felt about Operation Warp Speed. That was no surprise. And I thought, Kennedy was very vocal against the COVID shots, very vocal against how the pandemic was handled prior to becoming the Secretary of Health and Human Services. So we assumed that those sentiments would continue. Unfortunately, he seems to be playing along, and not sure what the motivation is. It's everybody keeps telling me to be patient, but like I said, when you see it every day, I've never seen anything like this with any other product on the market. It's really hard to just be patient and go along.
I had that same assumption and hope when RFK was going to be coming in, that it's going to open the floodgates, going to expose everything, and we're finally going to be getting that information out to the public, but that didn't happen. There's a question here from our locals chat. What is your opinion of the Trump baller announcement? It says even RFK Jr. and Del Bigtree on the high wire this past Thursday did not respond. What is this person referencing?
With the $70 billion.
Yeah. Well, they basically brought in Pfizer to the Oval Office for some sort of deal. And Pfizer has promised to start manufacturing. So the government, from what I understand, the government did not give Pfizer $70 billion. Pfizer promised to invest $70 billion in manufacturing in the US and also to bring down drug prices, which is great. But what sort of backroom deal was given? I mean, it sounds like, to me, I bet Pfizer was given some sort of immunity. Like, we're not going to go after you for poisoning 80% of the country with your product and lying to us about the safety. That's my presumption. And it's infuriating. It's a slap in the face to all the people that have been injured, families of those who have been killed by these shots. And I don't know what it's like in Canada, but the injured in the US are not getting any help from the government. 98% of claims have been denied. There is a special compensation fund called the CICP, but people are not getting help from the government. And this was just, salt on the wounds.
Yeah, we have viewers who are vaccine injured. They're trying to go through the VISP program here in Canada, Vaccine Injury Support Program, getting denied, getting dragged out. They're just literally trying to get people to be so frustrated that they just drop trying to get it. The approval rate is very low, probably close to the 98% as well, that are denied. And we also have deaths. So Dan Hartman is somebody that we are working very hard to keep the story in front of the people, because the mainstream media is not touching that one at all. His son is 17 years old, dropped dead after being forced to take the Pfizer vaccine in order to play hockey. And I was speaking to another gentleman. Yeah, that's him.
I leave it on my chair here.
Yeah, no, fantastic. Yeah, no, he's dear to our hearts for sure, Dan. And I was speaking to a gentleman from the US yesterday who lost his daughter to Pfizer as well. And he met with Robert Kennedy during the campaigning when he was still campaigning to be president. So they met in person. He made the promise, we're gonna get you justice for this, looked him right in the eyes. And he still voted for Robert, even though he joined Trump's side. He said, hey, vote for Trump. He still voted for Robert. And he was crushed to see Robert there, standing behind the CEO, cracking a couple jokes too, and smiling a few times. He was crushed because the same thing that you're talking about here. If he critiques Trump, everybody attacks him. Doesn't matter that he lost his daughter. Just even critiquing Trump on this, everybody attacks him, and everybody's telling him the same thing that you just said. Be patient. This could be 4D chest. I don't think so. I don't think this is 4D chest. I think you're right. They're just kind of sweeping this under the rug and moving on. The only thing we could come up with yesterday when him and I were talking off the recording we were doing was maybe Robert's positioning himself to be president after Trump. Maybe, but still, you guys are destroying your base by not pushing them back on this particular issue. But I think you're right. They're just sweeping us under the rug, moving on, because that mRNA platform is so valuable. $70 billion of investment in the U.S., more manufacturing in the U.S. And Trump made a comment, something like, if you pledge $1 billion to bring your business to the U.S., you can come to the White House and we can do a press release. So this could be how Pfizer got in there, because they took him up on that offer. But I'd love to know what happened after those cameras, before those cameras are turned on. And I'm concerned too. Are they going to stop any prosecutions? Is Robert kind of going to drop this and move on to Tylenol? Like, what are your thoughts about this whole announcement about Tylenol? Because Dr. McCullough spoke to him, and he says this is just an amplifier. This is not the root cause.
Yeah, I mean, it's politically easy to go after Tylenol. Very politically easy. It's very politically hard to go after what everybody thinks is going on is the vaccines. And yeah, I'm sure Tylenol is part of the problem, but eliminating Tylenol is not going to solve the autism epidemic by any means. So I think they had to come out with something. They promised something in September. They had to make a big announcement, and Tylenol took the fall. But again, it's politics over safety, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's what we're seeing here. And at least in the U.S., you guys are having a conversation about autism. Up here, they're not. Our government up here is still doing things like preparing to give us avian flu vaccines. Like avian flu is supposed to cross the barrier, and we need to be worried. So I think it was something like 7 million vaccines or something like that have already been pre-purchased for Canada to vaccinate us against avian flu as humans, not the livestock. Have you been following the culling in BC, where CFIA, Canadian Food Inspection Agency, is trying to destroy about 400 ostriches because they're saying that they're a bio risk to Canadians? Have you been following that one?
Vaguely, yeah. And they weren't even testing the ostriches for the disease. Is that correct? But they were.
Not recently, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. So back in December 2024, they tested two corpse or carcasses, and they said they found a very strong version of H5N1 in these birds, but yet the flock survived. The flock didn't die. So this particular flock should have been wiped out by this if it was true. But it looks like they've developed some immunity to H5N1 avian flu. And instead of studying them, they want to cull them. Now, your government said, don't kill these birds. We need to study them. We don't understand how they survive, so we want to figure that out.
Right.
Dr. Oz offered to bring them down to his personal ranch to go ahead and give them a place to live while they study them. And Robert Kennedy, he sent up a letter and said, don't do it. We want to watch what happened here. We want to see what's going on here. Why did they live? They shouldn't have lived. But our government's completely ignored that, and they're moving ahead. It could be as early as this week where these birds may find their fate. And it's in our Supreme Court right now, but I'm not very optimistic that the Supreme Court is going to do the right thing here.
And their justification is just, we got to eradicate the potential. I mean, they're not even sick. I don't understand how could they possibly win that case?
You're 100% correct. So they've had two arguments that they keep going back and forth on. The first one was, we have trade agreements with our partners like the US and others, that if there's avian flu detected, we have to stamp out the entire herd. And then they switched it to, well, these birds are sick and they're going to, through wild birds, are going to spread it to other farms. And when that didn't happen, because 9 months have gone by, that didn't happen and these birds got better, then they switched back to the trade argument that it's under international trade agreements that we have to do this. Now, we had an expert on our show. His name was Dr. Stephen Pellick. He highlighted that you actually have the choice under the trade agreements, either stamp them out or wait for the burnout period. The burnout period used to be 3 months. They lowered it to 1 month. If after that 1 month, there's no longer symptoms and they're no longer sick, you don't have to stamp them out. But yet we're 9 months on, and Canada is still doing exactly that. They're preparing to do it right now.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah, no, agreed.
No, so what I want to do now is I'm kind of jump into your current path. Like you're fighting back, you promoting this movie. Can you tell our audience about this movie and what they can expect to see from it when they watch it?
Yeah, I mean, it dives into the horrors of the pandemic, but it also dives in deeper to sort of just the malfunctions of our entire public health system, and goes back to, even cigarettes and the propaganda around cigarettes, and it goes into the food issues as well. It's sort of a comprehensive look at our public health system and the propaganda, and with a heavy emphasis on propaganda and how they've manipulated the public with messaging.
Okay, yeah. So you brought up some good ones, because there was a period of time where 4 to 5 doctors would recommend a certain cigarette brand, and then they kind of stopped doing that, but they didn't admit that it causes cancer. Went through all of that, and you saw back then where media was being used to push it and advertising was being used to push it. This is something that still Canadians don't understand about America. Every second commercial is a drug company commercial for you guys. We don't have that here. We don't allow that here, but you guys do. Do you have a culture where advertising for drugs is common? Do you think that's something that needs to stop? And do you think under Robert, you guys might end up getting there for that?
Yeah, it's out of control. I don't watch that much TV, but occasionally the football games on Sundays with my kids, and it's every other commercial is a drug. It's really insane. Now, it's interesting because Texas just passed a law that said if a vaccine manufacturer advertises on television, then they are held liable. The National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act does not apply anymore if they advertise on TV in Texas. So it'd be interesting to see if anything comes of that. And you guys you don't have a National Childhood Vaccine Injury Act, right? So your vaccine manufacturers should be liable. Is that correct?
Correct. And
Yeah.
that's why Dan Hartman is able to proceed against Pfizer for wrongful death. We don't have that kind of protection in place. At first, he was suing Pfizer and our government. The government portion of it got dismissed because our government doesn't have a duty of care to Canadians when it comes to recommending or even enforcing a vaccine. So the court agreed with the government on that one. They don't have a duty of care. But as far as the Pfizer portion of that, that is proceeding. And it's the only North American lawsuit right now against Pfizer for wrongful death. So this is why we all going to wear that jersey. We got it as well to see if Sean can be redeemed. You get some answers, and his death isn't in vain. Maybe we can use the courts to kind of open the door for the rest of the world if Canada can find a way to find Pfizer guilty on this one.
Yeah, and you have another case against Moderna, right? Kayla Pollock suing Moderna. So that, maybe Canada will open the floodgates with litigation. And there's a huge case in the U.S., Brooke Jackson. And unfortunately, our government is standing in the way of this case. She's suing Pfizer. She was a research assistant overseeing the trials and saw lots of issues going on, reported those issues, was fired. But all, the data, she claims that the data that they submitted was fraudulent. She witnessed what was going on, and the data wasn't collected properly. And Pfizer sent out this product based on fraudulent data and is suing. But now the Department of Justice and the Pam Bondi is standing in the way of that lawsuit, trying to get the lawsuit dismissed. And it's just hanging on by a thread.
Yeah, so the Kayla Pollock one is the vax injury against Moderna. You're correct. She became a quadriplegic after her third shot, so the first booster. And she's fighting hard on that one as well. So we may be opening two doors here. And one of the things I learned about your justice system is if they can prove that it was fraud, they're not immune. So they don't actually have that protection anymore. So that is one avenue to try and open that door. But I understand that you have to sue, so you can sue, so you can sue, so you can sue, then you can get up to the company. There's a long chain of victories you need in order to get there. And it sounds like Pam Bondi is standing in the way of one of these.
Yeah, it's been a 5-year drama for them. I mean, they just ongoing, motion dismiss, fighting back, to appeals. I mean, just one thing after the other. And I guess the latest is that so usually the government, if you're trying to prove fraud, the government will help the person trying to prove fraud, not the person being accused of fraud. But in this case, the government is trying to help the company being accused of fraud, which is unusual.
Well, maybe because that opens the door of their liability. If they were pushing a message that turns out to be fraud as well, they may be able to go to the company and sue them for it, provide information, but they also had a duty to make sure that information was correct. So your CDC, I think it is, maybe they're the ones that could be on the line if it turned out to be fraud, because don't they have a duty to make sure that they do their testing and review their own stuff and not necessarily rely solely on the manufacturer?
Yeah, the FDA definitely. And I don't know if you watched, we had a recent meeting, the ACIP meeting, where they advised the CDC, and the FDA was there. It basically came out that the FDA did not check the vials to make sure they weren't contaminated with DNA like they were supposed to. Because there have been about 10 studies now showing, independent studies, not done by the government, showing that there are high levels of DNA contamination in the vials, which is problematic because that DNA can get into the nucleus of the cell, alter the genes, create abnormal proteins. They could suppress tumor suppressor genes, creating cancers. And the FDA is supposed to oversee that, make sure that there's not high levels of DNA contamination, but it appears that they did not do that.
Yeah, and that's Dr. Speaker from Canada who's doing a lot of that work. He was down in Florida speaking with the Florida Surgeon General about that. And on Thursday, we have Dr. Jessica Rose joining us on the show. She's been part of that research and advocacy as well, because first they denied it, then they independent researchers found it, brought it, at least in Canada, to the attention of the Canadian government, and they pulled the product, issued a warning, and then reversed it, and then just to let it continue after Pfizer themselves said, nah, don't worry about it. It doesn't do anything. Yeah, we didn't disclose it. Yeah, we didn't tell you about it, but don't worry about it. So after that process, they reintroduced it again. So hopefully more attention on this, especially from the US, could help push that. You see how we have like this back and forth relationship with Canada and US where we need to work together to get this truth out? Do you think some of the deterioration of the US-Canada relationship on a trade level, on a government level, might interfere with some of that work that's being done there?
I don't know. I feel like what we're doing is so separate from what the government's doing, because I don't know, they don't want us involved, right? And I don't know. I feel like on the medical freedom movement is pretty independent of those sort of trade issues, but are the leaders of our governments really trying to help us? I mean, I feel like they're maybe forced to listen, but they're not trying to help us. So I don't know. I mean, it'd be nice if they cared more, but the sense I get is that we are on our own and we just have to get much louder.
Yep.
You were on the Joe Rogan show this summer. How sitting down for like 2-3 hours to have that type of conversation? What was the feedback from that?
I mean, more from young people, because I have 4 kids, and it's interesting. Their friends now know about my story, which was, before that, none of their friends knew, or if anything, they had sort of a negative impression of me. So personally, the best part of being on that show was my friends now. I mean, my sons, their friends have said nice things to them, and the mom, your mom is cool, that kind of thing. But I don't know that, I was hoping it would make more of an impact in a bigger sense, but I'm not sure it has. It's frustrating. I'm still fighting the medical board. I'm waiting for the next round. They're going to give me my punishment soon. And then I have to appeal further. And that's been going on for 4 years now.
And I see you do have a book that's going to be coming out in next year. I saw it on Amazon. What was it? Dangerous Misinformation: The Virus, the Treatments, and the Lies.
Yeah, it's coming out in April. It's just a sort of my story of what happened. They accused me of spreading dangerous misinformation, and removed my privileges and called me out publicly, reported me to the medical board, and changed my life. It's just me fighting back from that.
Now, right now in Canada, there's an effort by the Canadian government to shut down naturopath options for Canadians, totally regulated, and take it off the market. And we have Sean Buckley and Teresa Buckley going across country to fight that. They have 150,000 signed signatures for a petition to stop this. What are your thoughts about that? Because now, not only are they giving us bad information about what to take from these manufacturers, they're also trying to shut down naturopath options. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, we need more options, not fewer. We need more emphasis on, taking charge of your own health. I think we learned that lesson during the pandemic. And the more options that we can have, where people can use, non-pharmaceuticals to get healthy, is huge, is very important. And so that's discouraging that the government is going after them like that.
Yeah. So thank you for your time today. I don't know if you have a couple more minutes, because we're going to now jump into our members section and say good morning to them. But I really appreciate you coming on again to the show. And maybe that's what opened the door for Joe Rogan. We've had a couple guests end up there. Have you spoken to Tucker Carlson at all? Has he reached out? And by the way, your kids are going to love the fact that you're on Tea and Coffee with Paula and Jay.
Yeah. I was on Tucker's show, and he and I communicate here and there. He's definitely on our side. Has been more outspoken than most in our arena about the COVID shots. So
Well, that's good. So keep it up. If there's anything we can do, or if you want to come back with your book or something like that, you can reach out anytime. We'd love to have you back. So
Thank
what
you.
we're going to do is we're going to say goodbye to the public, and we'll jump over to our members section for about 10 minutes or so, because we have to get ready for the Barbara Leach sentencing announcement coming out soon. So if you want to hang out, that's cool. We'll see you for a couple more minutes. But if you have to get back to your patients because they need you, we totally understand that. Thank you very much for your time today.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. I have time to hang out a little bit longer if you want.
Oh, cool. Hey, so they're locals. Hold on a second. She's going to be right there. We'll be right there with you. Okay. Okay, so public, thank you very much for hanging out with us. Make sure you go and check out thelevineshow.com if you want to become a member. We're now going to go and hang out with our locals community for a little bit.
Or to buy tickets for the Untold Story of Dan Hartman.
Yep, and you also can get a free copy of our book, or my book, Bearing Witness. Make sure that you capture history and make sure that we can get into the courts. So if you're out in BC or you're covering even protest, there's a good way to make sure that we can get that evidence going forward. But public, thank you very much for hanging out. Tune in about 15 minutes. I'm going to go live again as we cover the Barbara Leach verdict, or not the verdict, the sentencing decision. And hopefully they get to go home to their family today. But we'll be finding out soon. So thank you very much for being with us today.
Oh, yes. Everyone have a fantastic day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Love you all very much, and God bless.